President Trump and Elon Musk again sharing the spotlight.
He's a brilliant guy. He's a great guy.
In an interview airing overnight, taped Friday, the two defending their efforts to radically remake the federal government.
The president is the elected representative of the people, so he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
Many of those efforts allowed to move forward for now, after a federal judge weighed in on a lawsuit filed by 14 states asking to temporarily block the firing of federal workers and to stop Musk's team from accessing data systems. The judge adding the states did legitimately call into question what appears to be the, quote, unchecked authority of an unelected individual. It comes as Trump is out with a new executive order establishing that several independent regulatory agencies now answer to the president. The order also saying executive branch employees can't contradict the president or attorney general when interpreting the law. Now the federal government facing widespread disruption with a recent firing spree. The Department of Agriculture now scrambling to hire back several critical employees fired over the weekend who've been responding to the bird flu epidemic. Also fired over the weekend, hundreds of senior staff at the Department of Homeland Security and more than 1,000 at the National Institutes of Health. Some 400 probationary employees at the FAA also let go. And while the agency says staffers who handled critical safety functions were retained, former National Aerospace Defense Program worker Charles Spitzer Statlander, fired Saturday, told us he worries safety will ultimately be impacted.
There's a lack of seriousness that is being given to what they're actually doing. And this is deadly serious.
On that note, Garrett, we're also starting to see top officials from some agencies step down themselves, citing the impact that the firings are going to have.
Yeah, Savannah, I feel like we're seeing new ones every day. Now we have the acting chief of the Social Security Administration who stepped down over the holiday weekend after refusing Elon Musk's Doge access to sensitive records there, sources say. And the latest senior official to leave their job in protest is a person named Jim Jones. He's the head of the food division of the FDA. He called the firings at his agency indiscriminate and told Stat News he didn't want to spend the next 6 months on activities that are fundamentally about dismantling an organization. Asked about that, the White House press secretary said in part that she believes President Trump is only interested in the best and most qualified people who are also willing to implement his America First agenda. Now, the FDA regulates something like 80% of the nation's food supply. The president's nominee to lead that entire agency hasn't even had a confirmation hearing yet. So all of it's leaving some advocacy groups concerned that safety is or will ultimately be jeopardized. Savannah?
We shall see, Garrett. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.